Like thus, here are the key conventions to use. 1. Disfluencies and fillers. Generously use words like, well, and so. These show that a speaker is thinking on their feet. Example. It's almost like you're putting on armor. 2. Active listening and interjections. Listeners don't sit in total silence. They offer brief acknowledgments to show they are following along. Use short phrases like, right, yeah, oh wow, exactly, or to break up longer explanations. Example, host speaker. And the Chelsea boot was basically invented in the Victorian era. Expert speaker. Right, host speaker, which completely changes how we think about its original purpose. 3. Interruptions and cutoffs. People often interrupt each other or finish each other's sentences. Use an em dash to indicate a sharp cutoff or interruption. Do not use ellipses. Example, expert speaker. When you wear a combat boot, you are deliberately trying to, host speaker, to stand out right, like making a statement. 4. False starts and redirection. Speakers often start a sentence, change their mind, and restart. Example, I think, well, actually, the style guide says something different.
Use relaxed phrasing. Instead of, therefore, one must consider, use ho. You really have to think about.
Yeah.
Here is a multi-turn example combining these elements.
So if we look at the origin of these boots, it's pretty wild.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Chelsea boot is like, it goes all the way back to the Victorian era.
Yeah, which is crazy when you think about it.
Right. And the whole point was making it easy to slip on natural notes. So I want you to do something right now. If you are somewhere where you can safely do this, just look down at your feet. What are you wearing right now?
That is always such a revealing question, honestly.
Right. Like, are they beat-up running shoes? Are they crisp loafers? Or, maybe you're working from home and you are just in a pair of fuzzy slippers.
Which is a totally valid choice for a home office, by the way.
Absolutely. But I want you to ask yourself, does what you have on your feet right now reflect who you really are? Or is it just what you happen to be doing today?
It is a surprisingly heavy question when you really stop to analyze it. Because most of the time, we view footwear as purely functional. You need to protect your feet from the pavement, so you just throw on whatever is closest to the door.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you do it without considering the psychological weight of that choice. Which is exactly why we are doing this deep dive today. We are unpacking a really comprehensive style guide from Apparelizer. It's titled Chelsea Boots versus Combat Boots, Finding Your Signature Style.
It's a great piece.
It really is.
Yeah.
But the mission here isn't just to tell you what color jacket to wear. We are looking at how your footwear acts as a literal shortcut to defining your identity.
Right, because we were talking about how the shoes you choose project your confidence. They literally dictate your posture.
Yeah, they entirely change how you navigate your daily life.
The underlying argument we're exploring today is that shoes are the absolute foundation of your aesthetic identity. They aren't just accessories you tack on at the end of getting dressed.
They are the baseline.
Exactly. They are the baseline. And by examining two of the most dominant, timeless styles in modern footwear, the Chelsea boot and the combat boot, we are really analyzing two completely opposing strategies for how a person presents themselves to the world.
So to really understand the statement these two boots make, we can't just look at them on a shelf, right? We have to understand where they came from.
Oh, history is everything here.
Right, because the physical blueprints of these shoes literally dictate how they function in a modern wardrobe. So let's start with the Chelsea boot.
Okay.
This design actually originated in the Victorian era.
Which surprises a lot of people.
It totally does, and its entire identity is built around an incredibly sleek, minimal silhouette. The defining feature, like the thing that makes a Chelsea boot the Chelsea boot, are those iconic elastic side panels.
Yeah, that elastic gusset fundamentally changed footwear. It introduced easy slip-on convenience.
Because before that, boots were a hassle, right?
Oh, they were complex. They required effort. Lots of laces and hooks. The Chelsea boot was designed to be completely effortless. It is basically a masterclass in reduction, taking away everything that isn't absolutely necessary.
Yeah, so then you look at the complete opposite end of the spectrum, which is the combat boot. The origins here aren't Victorian drawing rooms.
No, not at all.
They're strictly military wear.
And that origin requires a completely different physical structure. I mean, the military needed a boot built for durability and protection in the worst possible conditions.
Right.
So the combat boot is defined by a heavy, sturdy build. It has a rigid lace-up structure and a highly rugged utilitarian aesthetic.
A great way to think about how these function visually is to look at audio equipment.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, so a Chelsea boot is like a pair of high-end noise-canceling headphones for your outfit. It strips away all the visual clutter.
Mm-hmm.
There are no laces, no heavy seams,
Yeah.
no bulky hardware.
Mm-hmm.
So the silhouette of your clothes can speak clearly without interruption.
That is a perfect way to describe it.
But a combat boot is like a distortion pedal on an electric guitar. You plug it into a clean, simple outfit, and it immediately adds grit, volume, and attitude.
And because it's a distortion pedal, you don't use it the same way. The physical origins of these boots inherently create their modern aesthetic.
Right.
The Chelsea boot's slip-on nature guarantees a clean, streamlined look. It visually elongates the leg.
Which everyone loves.
Exactly. Meanwhile, the combat boot's military roots guarantee a commanding, almost aggressive presence.
Yeah.
The thick utilitarian soles and the heavy laces are exactly what give it that bold, unavoidable character today.
Which brings us to the psychological vibe of actually wearing them. Because of those distinct physical histories, putting on either of these boots triggers a completely different mindset for the wearer.
It really does.
The Chelsea boot represents what Apparelizer calls confidence through simplicity. It is geared toward a personality that gravitates toward timeless staples, understated sophistication, and clean fashion.
It is the embodiment of quiet confidence.
Okay, unpack that a bit.
Well, when someone wears a Chelsea boot, they are signaling that they don't need loud logos or aggressive styling to be noticed.
Right.
It is for the person who wants to project an image of having their life entirely put together without looking like they spent 3 hours in front of the mirror trying to achieve it.
On the flip side, the combat boot represents confidence through individuality.
Yes.
This appeals to someone who actively enjoys bold, edgy aesthetics. It is for the person who wants to stand out in a crowd and express a very strong, undeniable fashion personality.
Because the combat boot inherently delivers a rebellious look. It adds instant attitude. You don't put on a combat boot to fade into the background. You put it on to make a physical impact on the space you are walking into.
I'll be honest, though. Whenever I put on a combat boot, I sometimes feel a bit like an imposter.
Really? How so?
Well, I work in an office with ergonomic chairs, I drink overpriced lattes. I am not kicking down doors or storming a trench.
Right.
So is there a line between expressing this rebellious attitude and just wearing a costume? And conversely, if the Chelsea boot is all about simplicity and blending in, isn't there a massive risk of it just being entirely boring and forgettable?
Okay, that tension is exactly why styling is so critical. It all comes back to the baseline intent of the outfit.
Okay.
A Chelsea boot isn't meant to be the star of the show. Its intent is to refine and elevate. It seamlessly pulls a look together.
So it's a supporting player.
Exactly. It only becomes boring if the rest of the outfit lacks any point of view.
I see.
And regarding the combat boots and feeling like an imposter, you aren't pretending to be a soldier.
Well, that's a relief.
You are specifically utilizing the visual weight of the boot to disrupt your everyday environment. It takes a mundane outfit and gives it a necessary edge.
So it's not a costume.
No, it isn't a costume at all. It's a deliberate injection of contrast.
So it's really about the job you are hiring the shoe to do.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
If building an outfit around these boots is less about matching colors and more about matching intent, how do we actually execute that?
Well, Apparelizer provides a very specific rule book for integrating these into a wardrobe.
And the mechanics of why these rules work are fascinating. Let's start with the Chelsea boot outfits.
Okay, so because the Chelsea boot leans heavily into polished fashion and business casual, you want to maintain that streamlined visual.
Right.
The recommendation is to pair them with slim-fit jeans, tailored trousers, smart casual blazers, and structured winter coats.
So the styling rules here are entirely about restraint. You have to stick to tailored silhouettes, lean into neutral colors for versatility, and use minimalist accessories.
Yes.
But why is the tailored silhouette so non-negotiable? Like, what happens visually if I throw on baggy cargo pants with a sleek Chelsea boot?
You create a jarring visual dissonance, and not the good kind.
Oh.
It comes down to continuous lines. The Chelsea boot is designed to be minimal. If you drape heavy, loose fabric over it, the shoe visually disappears.
It just is swallowed up.
Exactly. It gets swallowed up by the fabric. Tailored trousers or slim jeans mirror the sleekness of the shoe. They create an unbroken visual line from your waist to the floor.
Which looks very sharp.
It reads as highly intentional and sophisticated.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
The clothing has to mirror the clean lines of the boot.
Mm,
But then you look at the styling rules for the combat boots, and the formula flips entirely.
it really does.
The recommendation is to pair them with cargo pants, skinny jeans, oversized jackets, and heavy leather outfits.
The rules for the combat boot encourage experimentation. You are supposed to play with oversized layers, ripped or relaxed fit denim, and monochrome outfits for an edgy appeal.
Hmm.
But the most important rule is deliberately mixing those rugged boots with soft textures to create contrast.
Yeah, that specific rule really caught my eye. Why does mixing a rugged military boot with a soft, oversized sweater work so well?
It is all about visual weight. A heavy leather combat boot physically anchors the outfit. If you wear a massive oversized knit sweater with a very delicate, slim shoe, you look completely top-heavy. You look like you might float away or topple over.
Oh yeah, I can picture that.
The visual bulk of the combat boot grounds the soft, flowing fabric of the sweater. The ruggedness of the leather highlights the softness of the knit by putting them right next to each other.
It's an incredible contrast in philosophies. The Chelsea boot demands that your clothes match its minimalist energy,
Right.
while the combat boot begs you to use it as a heavy anchor for oversized and highly textured layers. You can really see how the physical blueprint of the shoe dictates the entire architecture of the wardrobe around it.
The shoe essentially becomes the foundational building block for everything else you put on your body.
So we've built these perfect outfits conceptually, but a boot still has to function as a boot out in the real world.
Right, eventually you have to go outside.
Exactly. What happens when you step out the front door? Let's talk about the physical realities of wearing these in different environments and seasons.
Let's start with everyday comfort. Both options provide comfort, but they achieve it through entirely different mechanisms based on their construction.
Okay.
The Chelsea boot is incredibly lightweight.
Which makes it the ultimate all-day urban commuter shoe.
Exactly.
It is specifically highlighted for people who are constantly on the move. You get that immediate ease from the elastic slip-on design. You don't have to spend a week dealing with blisters to break them in. They just work from day one.
But the combat boot offers a totally different kind of comfort. They feature significantly thicker soles and robust ankle support.
Right.
This makes them far superior for extended outdoor use, standing on concrete for hours, or navigating unpredictable environments.
Which plays directly into seasonal strategy. Chelsea boots are framed as the ultimate smart seasonal staple for fall, winter, and spring.
Yes, because their sleek structure slides so easily under trousers. And they pair effortlessly with structured coats and scarves. A classic formula is just taking a black Chelsea boot, slim trousers, and a sharp coat. It immediately looks like a modern, intentional, seasonal outfit.
However, when the weather turns truly hostile, the combat boot steps in as the ultimate tool for urban winter fashion.
Oh, absolutely.
Their heavy-duty design and treaded soles are built to handle rough terrain, snow, and sleet.
Yeah.
They bring an undeniable personality to those heavy, layered winter outfits, like thick hoodies worn under oversized jackets.
The combat boot's military DNA basically turns it into your winter armor. You strap into it to go battle the elements.
But the Chelsea boot's lightweight design makes it the perfect transitional footwear.
Right.
You can wear it on your morning commute, sit in the office all day, and wear it straight to a nice dinner without ever feeling like your shoes are out of place.
That versatility is the Chelsea boot's superpower. It glides seamlessly through different social environments in a single day.
Whereas the combat boot is designed to anchor you aggressively against the physical environment itself.
Exactly.
So we've laid out two very distinct paths here. The Victorian elegance and tailored simplicity of the Chelsea boot versus the military ruggedness and textured rebellion of the combat boot.
Mm-hmm.
But the ultimate goal of all this analysis isn't to force you into a rigid box where you have to declare loyalty to just one shoe forever.
No, not at all. The core philosophy here is about finding a signature style that balances your own individuality with timeless choices.
Right.
The goal is choosing pieces that feel naturally and authentically you.
There's a strong argument made in the guide that you do not have to choose just one. Both of these styles absolutely deserve a place in a versatile wardrobe.
Because fashion at its core is a language of expression.
I do have to challenge that a bit, though.
Sure.
If we spend all this time comparing the deep psychological differences between these two aesthetics, isn't it a bit of a cop-out to arrive at the conclusion of, hey, just buy both?
I can see why you'd think that.
Like, does wearing both mean you actually have no defined signature style at all?
It is a fair question, but having both is not a lack of commitment to a style. It is an acknowledgement that human personality